Hello everyone, I'm Jeffrey Canzani and today I'm going to be going over my poster presentation. It is titled The Effectiveness of a Differential Reinforcement of Other Behaviors Intervention in Reducing Escape-Maintained Vocal Stereotypy in an Adolescent with Autism Spectrum Disorder. And for this study, I worked together with Aubrey R, who is a 16-year-old female with Autism Spectrum Disorder. She previously had shown high levels of independence with reciprocal communication and other forms of social communication, including responding to questions and demanding for breaks and such, but she started to exhibit very high levels of vocal stereotypy during any social interaction. Her BCBA functionally assessed that vocal stereotypy, which we'll define as any non-contextually relevant phrase, statement, or repetitive word or sound, had an escape function. So we were looking at an escape-maintained vocal stereotypy as the maladaptive behavior we wanted to reduce. Upon doing research, I discovered that differential reinforcement of other behaviors interventions were highly effective in reducing these types of vocal stereotypies, whether they are escape or attention maintained. So for this study, we aim to determine whether the use of differential reinforcement of other behaviors intervention would be effective in reducing the rate or the percentage of escape-maintained vocal stereotypy, specifically during social interactions. And like I mentioned, past studies have suggested that differential reinforcement procedures such as this are highly effective in reducing vocal stereotypy, such as a study by Butler et al. In 2020. I believe that decreasing vocal stereotypy for Aubrey R in this context could also have a resurgence or an increase in the participant's ability to use her previously acquired skills to maintain communication as well as maintain relationships and succeed better in school by being able to respond and reciprocally communicate with her teachers and peers. And for this study, we use an ABAB reversal design. For this design, the independent variable was our differential reinforcement of other behaviors intervention, or DRO intervention, and our dependent variable was the vocal stereotypy, or the percentage of vocal stereotypy that was occurring per session. So this entire study took place at the participant's house at her living room in a trial-by-trial format, or a direct trial format, with there being 10 questions per session, and there was 3 sessions for each phase. So for each ABAB, there were 3 sessions. During each session, the RBT and the participant sat at a table, and the participant was asked a previously mastered question, such as, how was your day, or what color is your shirt? And depending on the participant's response, we would either write down that there was an occurrence of vocal stereotypy during that trial, or there was not one. At the end of 10 trials, we would formulate the percentage of occurrence of vocal stereotypy for that session and mark it down on our data sheet. Beginning with the intervention phase, or the differential reinforcement of other behaviors phase, the participant, before starting the actual trials, was essentially given instructions on how the differential reinforcement would work. They were shown a whiteboard and a marker that would be used as a token board, and they were told that for every trial that they responded to, during that trial, if they responded with no vocal stereotypy or an absence of vocal stereotypy, that they would receive a star on the whiteboard and a 3-minute break from any other social interactions. So their responses could be anything that did not have that maladaptive vocal stereotypy, including previously mastered skills such as demanding for a break, or just responding with a contextually appropriate answer to that question that was posed to them. During the differential reinforcement procedures, we only used the least intrusive prompting we could, and that started and ended with gesturally prompting to the whiteboard. That's all the prompting that was needed throughout the intervention phase for this particular participant. And as you can see in the results section here, for the first baseline, we already began with very high levels of vocal stereotypy, with the average for the vocal stereotypy during baseline at a high of 68.3%. Sorry, with an average of 68.3% and a high between 80 and 90%. By the first DRO intervention phase, you see there's already a downward trend, and that repeats with the reversal to baseline, where it goes all the way back up to 90% high, and the intervention trend repeats again after the reversal for the final intervention phase, where you can see there's another downward trend, and the average percentage across all of the DRO intervention phases was 28.3%, which is a very significant decrease in vocal stereotypy from that high 68.3% average that was present in the baseline phase. I believe that these results indicate that the DRO procedures were very effective in reducing the percentage of occurrences of vocal stereotypy during these trial-based social interactions. I learned through this study that I compared the results of this study with other studies that use differential reinforcement, and I think that this study adds to the already existing studies that suggest that differential reinforcement is highly effective in reducing these types of maladaptive stereotypy behaviors. Whether that's escape or attention maintained, they seem to work very well, especially for vocal stereotypy. I also added that this adds to the research that suggests that matching the function of vocal stereotypy, and in this instance that's escape, to an equivalent reinforcer, which in this study we used, our reinforcer was a differentially reinforced break from social interactions. Doing that and matching the function to that reinforcer, or making sure that they're similar, seemed to be very effective in that DRO intervention for eventually reducing that stereotypic behavior. And I learned that originally from Weston et al. 2017. I believe for future designs, I would like to see longer term designs where they're able to use reinforcement schedule thinning. We were not able to do that. We reinforced for each trial, but I believe future trials would definitely benefit from having a reinforcement schedule thinning. And that's one thing that I learned here too, is that if I had a chance to do it over again, I would probably at least try to get more sessions and do this for a little bit of a longer period of time if I could, to just use that reinforcement schedule thinning. I also believe that in future designs, they could do this as a NET or a natural environment training format rather than a trial by trial or discrete format, so that it has a little bit more of a practicality or similarity to the situations where these types of behaviors would be occurring in the natural environment. I hope everyone learned something about differential reinforcement and its effectiveness for use with these types of vocal stereotypy behaviors, and thank you for watching.